everyone, welcome back. I'm sorry that this video is late, but I just have had a lot going on in the last couple of weeks since the last time I post. Just very much a lot of things going on with the kids and everything. If you can hear that, that's my dog. Henry, come here. Henry. I have a dog. I have a Sheltie, and he has a habit of moving around a lot. So yeah. But anyhow, I'm here to do a review on a book called the ADHD 2.0. The reason I want to do the review on this before I start, please hit the subscribe button and the notification button. And please like this video if you know what I'm talking about or any of that stuff. I have ADHD, attention hyperactive disability. When I was a kid, I had 4 doctors, four doctors, my mom told me, look at me and just observe, what doctors do. Technically, I don't remember everything when I was a kid, but I'd go to these appointments and I'd get these wires all over my head and I'd have to lay there because they would want to check my brain waves. But that's not the only reason why they were doing that. There was other things that have been wrong with me over 39 years of my life. Like, I was going for blood work to see if the medication I was on was working. Like, I'd go for blood work maybe once a month after I was done. I would take my medication for a month and then I would have to go for blood work. My mom would constantly have to take me to do blood work, and I hated blood work. And if you guys hate blood work, please tell me, please, because I hate it. Every time the doctor has to tell me, gives me paperwork to go get blood work done, I just don't want to go get it done because I just hate it. I flipping hate it. I'm scared. That is one of the things I'm scared of is needles, and I do not like getting poked in the arm to get blood work done because of that. And if you see me moving around, it's just because I can't sit still for a long period of time. That's part of having ADHD. You just can't sit still. You're up and going, you're moving around, you're distracted, you look around and you're doing one thing, but then you go on a different task and it's very hard. But anyhow, I'm trying to help. That's why I read this book, to understand it more, because I didn't understand it before then. So anyhow, I grew up in the 90s and the 80s, like I was saying. And I was born in 83. And in the 80s, kids with ADHD were just being pushed through school. And I mean pushed through school. And if you were born in the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm talking about. When I was in school, I was never put to the task. I was never pushed to the task of any of it. I had IEPs. I had IRPCs. My kids have IEPs, but they're called something else too, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to get the thing in and I'll link it all down below. But they have them too. But they're on accommodation. I wasn't. But when I was in school, I would be in the basic program that they used to have at my old school where I'm from. And it would be like English, math, science, all of that. You'd be doing the normal classes, but you'd be doing it at the level you can only do it at. Well, anyhow, let's continue on. When I was going to school, I was always told when I was a kid that I wouldn't amount to anything. I wouldn't be able to do anything in life because of my ADHD and because of my learning disability that I have. Now, I am 39 years old. I have a 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter. I carry a licensed Class G license. I don't have my grade 12 right now. I'm working on it. But I'm slow at it because I've always been slow at doing things. I say I'm going to do something and I don't. I'm a hypocrite. I say I'm going to do one thing, but I don't do it. But anyhow, that's not the point. I have lived with ADHD for 39 years, and I still live with it as an adult. And I find it's very, very difficult to live with it sometimes because the things that you need to do, like, it doesn't affect my driving. It doesn't affect my parenting skills. But when it comes to, like, you want to say something, but you don't know how to say it. I don't like conflict. I don't like confrontation. I hate confrontation. I hate conflict. I just don't like it. And I don't know about anybody else. That if you have ADHD, tell me what experiences you guys have had. Because with my experience, when I've gone out to work, when I've told my bosses I have ADHD, they looked at me weird, and I mean weird. They'd be like going, why are you working? Why aren't you on ODSP? Which I am on. But I can work. I'm on Ontario Disability Support Program. Who cares? I don't care. I do care. But anyhow, but I was always like they were always criticizing me. They were always putting me down. They would put me on, like, I was hired at Zehrs. I worked at Zehrs before I had my kids. And I was on cashier, and I didn't know change. And I'm not going to put down Zehrs or any of that. They put me on bag and groceries and things like that. Well, because of my disability, they felt that I would be better off doing that. But I would have been able to do something else in the store, like bakery or, all of that. But they didn't. That was my first ever job with Zehrs. And I was there for a year. And I said, I'm not going to put up with this. This isn't right for the way they're treating me. I'm trying to get away from the front end and trying to get into the bakery area. And I can't get into the baking area because they won't let me go from the front end. But I'm not going to whine about it because it's over with and done with. Like, I was working there probably when I was 19 years old. And I was working double shifts and everything. And I was still in school. I was trying to get my grade 12, but it didn't work out well. But with my ADHD, it comes with, I don't know if you guys would like restriction. There's no restrictions with having ADHD. You can do whatever you want as long as you set your mind to it. But people back in the day would tell me, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. I've always been told that. I wanted to be a cop, and I got told by my teachers when I was in school that I couldn't be a cop, that I couldn't be a police officer because of my ADHD, because of my learning disability. And I believed them. I actually believed them. That's why I'm living at home with my parents. I'm on a fixed income. I can live out on my own. I have no problems living out on my own. I love living out on my own. I love being by myself. But the problem is that I should be able to be out on my own, but at the same time, I should be able to live a normal life. And I should have been able to live a normal life when I was a kid, but I wasn't able to because I was on one set of medication called Ritalin. I think it was Ritalin with Tegretol. If you guys have been on that, please tell me. I had bloody noses on one of those, and I couldn't take them. And, I've tried every medication for my ADHD. I've considered going back on it, but I just don't want to. I stopped taking it when I was 17 or 16. I just didn't want to take it anymore. I wasn't interested in taking medication. And, I'm not going to say, hey, when you turn 16 or 17, go and get yourself off it. No. What I'm trying to say is that if it helps you, stay on it. If it doesn't, it's up to you. It's up to you how your body reacts. My body reacts differently than yours. So, with this book, the ADHD 2.0, when I saw this, and I was like going, I gotta read this book. And it explains a lot. And I learned something out of this book where it states that if one parent has ADHD, the kids highly have a chance to get ADHD. But it's just not in the man's genetics. It's in the woman's genetics too. My daughter has ADHD. And my son, he has ADD. But the other thing I found out, if you take the H out, it's ADD. And they decided that they were just going to put they put it all together, and it's in the book. And so it's called ADD. It's called ADHD. But I don't know the difference between ADD and ADHD, but if you do, please comment down below and recommend a book for ADD, because I would love to read it. But what I was saying is that when I was in school, I was never put to the task because of my disability, because the teachers used my disability against me, and so did I wanted to take general level classes, I wanted to take advanced classes, and I was never able to because of that, because of my learning disability, because they wanted me to stay in the basic program. And I got fed up. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm sorry, but I want to take general level classes. So I quit where I was. I quit school when I was 17, and I went to Central. It used to be called Central. I don't think it's called Central anymore where I'm from, my hometown. And I went there, and, I was given a chance to go to school there, and I didn't go because I wasn't able to, it's a long story. I can go into hours of this, and it's just, really bad. And then I went to St. Michael's, who is next to Northwestern, and that's the school I went to originally, was Northwestern. And I was in a DH class for a year, and I lost 15 flipping credits to be able to graduate with my friends. 15 credits I needed. I need 3 credits right now, but I lost when I went into grade 12, we found out my grade 9 year when my mom put me in that DH class because she was recommended to by my teacher at King Lear when I went to King Lear. When I was in the basic class there, she recommended me to be put into a DH class where I lost the opportunity to have 15 extra credits to be able to graduate with my friends that I started grade 9 with. And I wasn't able to, right? And they screwed me over right there. My mom didn't know. It's not my mom's fault. My mom didn't know. And neither did I. And when we found that out, I was like going, I'm not going to graduate with my friends. Then why am I here? Why am I in school? And I'm not saying you guys don't have that thought. Stay in school. Get an education. Because I drill that. I tell my kids that every day. Get an education. You need an education. Get it. But I was just like going, wow, okay. So for 17 years I was going through school and all these teachers were treating me differently because I had a learning disability and I was different from everybody else. And it was like going, there's a problem here. There is a big time problem here with centering out one child because that child has a disability and favoring the rest of them. That is wrong. A child with ADHD can do stuff in life. You don't ever tell a child with ADHD that they can't. Okay? The experiences that I've had with my disability in the society today isn't good. It's not good at all. Like, I've had issues with people criticizing me and condemning me for having a learning disability because, oh, you're not doing it right. Then show me. Show me it's right. I had a job back when the kids were small, and I was a cleaner in a couple factories, and I was trained by somebody who didn't even know what they were doing. But the manager wasn't willing to train me. So there was complaints going in. And I just couldn't understand why. And I was let go from that job. And I was written up because of people at that job. Because I was not the right person to do that job. And I felt like it was because of my disability. Or it was because I was just too slow. Or any of that. And it was just like going, are you kidding me? I needed that job. I really did. And then I went back and worked for the exactly same girl who got me fired. My last job, I went back and worked for her. And I was cleaning in one factory. And I didn't even know how to use the flooring cleaner. And I told her that. I was like, I don't know how to use it. Can't you get the guy that works on the other shift to do it? Like, I didn't even say this to her, but I should have. But I didn't. And it was like going, are you serious? I got fired. I got let go so she can hire a friend on who could do the better job than I can. Because I was just too slow. But I didn't know how to use the floor cleaner. And I couldn't get it to work for me at all. So they had to hire somebody else on. And now they have someone else doing it. So it's like if I don't know how to use something, I'm not going to use it. I should use it to give it a chance. And I did use it. But it just didn't work for me. The girl who worked it before me trained me on it. And it's like going, okay, so this is what you do. And I did what she did. But I couldn't figure it out why there was water leaking and why the floors weren't being clean or why this or that. You know, it was hard. And I had some of the workers at that factory come at me because of it. But I didn't know what I was doing. And that was because of the manager. And that wasn't the factory's fault. That was the manager's fault. And because I told her, I don't know how to use this. I should have told her, I don't know how to use this floor cleaner. Can't you get that guy to do it or somebody else to do it that knows and can catch on faster? I can't. But anyhow, she let me go, and I was so mad and upset. So I haven't gone back to work for her, period, since then. And then I've been working for a couple of temp agencies. I've worked for temp agencies before, and it's gone good. It's gone smoothly and everything. I tried to go back to work this year, but it didn't work out for me because my anxiety. Because with ADHD, you get very hyper and you get very anxiety, and my anxiety level was up because I just got back to work from a pandemic that we have been through for the last couple of years, and it was weird for me. And I think I just overworked myself and moved too fast with it. So I'm gonna go back to work. I'm hoping to. But anyhow, with ADHD, it can be difficult. But you can manage it. You can manage with it. Yeah, you can live. Some people can't live a normal life, but some people can. And if that offended you, I'm sorry. And that's the other thing. I could feel when somebody's upset or somebody doesn't like me or someone's irritated with me. My mind never shuts down. Like, it never shuts down at night, so I have problems sleeping. During the day, it's racing. I get upset easily. I get irritated easily. I just get very irritated with things that go on around me because it's not going so well. I get into a really bad mood. And it's just like one thing after another. But I was always told, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying this to you guys, I was always told that I couldn't do anything in life. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because I actually started believing them. And what I really wanted to do in life was become a police officer, maybe become an actor, a model, a singer, or stuff like that. And I was always told I couldn't do that by teachers, by everybody. I had someone who wrote my mom a letter. She was my counselor in school, in high school. And she wrote my mom a letter saying, well, Joanna's daydreaming in school. Joanna wants to do this, but she can't do it because of her disability. And my mom got that letter, and she was so disappointed, I think, in the system. But the school system failed me. But don't let it fail you, kids. Well, the thing that I'm doing with my kids is I'm fighting for their education. I don't give a crap what anybody has to say. I'm fighting for it. I go to these meetings for them, and I fight for it. It took till Liam to get into grade 9 to get him off of modified. And now he's on accommodation. And the hardest thing I had to do was push the teachers and push the resource person who does the job to get him off of modified and get him on accommodation in all of his classes so he can actually, because he wants to be a cop, and I know he can be, and I believe in my kids, and I know they could do anything they want. But telling a child that they can't do anything in life, that they're going to just sit on their asses and do nothing, is wrong. It's totally wrong in the society we have today. And it was wrong back in the day when I was a kid. I was always told that I wasn't going to be able to have children. My mom was always told this stuff. Joanna can't have kids. Joanna is never going to be able to drive. Joanna ain't going to be able to do anything. And it was all negativity coming from everyone around us. And I just believe that if those people are saying that, why? Why are they saying that about a child they don't even know? Yes, that child has ADHD. Yes, it's a learning disability. Yes, you learn differently than anybody else. You're not different than anyone else. You're the same and you're equal. Always remember that. And now, today, in society, with my learning disability, because I've had jobs where people have made fun of me and I've been bullied because of it, I just don't put up with it anymore. I just shrug it off, or I just say whatever. And I try to stay out of the confrontation that goes on in the world with other people. But I really recommend this ADHD book because it's really helped me, and it's really made me realize what I went through as a child was not right. But there is ways where you can calm your mind down. It's in that book. I bought the book from a bookstore. I bought it and I listened to it on audio, which was really good. And that I do have a bad, sorry, just taking my dog's chain off because he doesn't need it on. That's going to be him drinking. But what I'm trying to say is that living with ADHD now, I'm okay with it. I've come to realize that I have this disability. I have to cope with it. I have to learn how to live with it. Back in the day, I didn't want to realize it. I didn't want to believe it. And now I have. And coming to realize that I have ADHD and I need to learn about it is the biggest thing. But having to deal with people out in the real world, dealing their criticism and them condemning me for having a learning disability is not right. I shouldn't have to put up with that at all. If I have a learning disability, keep your mouth shut and don't mention it. And don't say anything about it. Because it's my problem, not yours. And with people self-diagnosing themselves with ADHD, that's you guys. I'm not going to say anything about it. But I can tell you one thing. Sitting here, looking at the camera, looking at the ring light that I have on, I have a hard time concentrating sometimes. But at the same time, it's like I want to get this out in the real world that you're not alone. I have ADHD. I'm 39 years old. I've had it since I was 4. I was diagnosed with it when I was 4 years old. I have had to live with it for my whole life. But being called lazy by a doctor on live television, because there's people out there with ADHD, we are not lazy. We think differently. We do things differently than anybody else. So don't ever call us lazy. I don't respect that when someone says that, because we're not. We're just human like you guys. We just learn differently. And when someone with ADHD learns differently, don't condemn them for it. Help them. Help them learn this. Don't send them off to defend for themselves. Help them learn. Maybe some of them might be stubborn, but that's okay. I'm a very stubborn person. And that has nothing to do with my ADHD. That has to do with just me. But when I want to base my opinion on something, I'm going to base it. I'm not saying that the world today and society, what it is today, I grew up in the 90s and the 80s. If you have and you're watching this, just remember one thing. You're not alone. I went through hell and back when I was a kid. Hell and back. Blood work, to testing, to CAT scans on the brain, all of it. My left side of the brain doesn't work properly. My right side's fine, but my left side, it just doesn't work properly. And I work differently than anybody else. But I'm still a human, and I'm a mother. And I'm allowed to say what I want to say. But when someone calls me lazy because I have ADHD, and says, well, it's because of your disability why you're lazy. No, it's not. I work slow, I work differently, and that's all to it. Accept it or don't accept it. If you don't want to hire me, then don't hire me. If you're going to condemn me for having a learning disability. Some of the actors out there today have learning disabilities. And it's coming out. Some of the big time people that are out there doing CEO jobs, all of them. Some of them actually have learning disabilities. It might not be ADHD, it might be something else. But they do. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of people coming out with things that has to do with ADHD or has to do with learning disabilities, all of it. And it's like going, wow. And I'm too scared to talk about my learning disability because I'm scared of what you guys are going to say to me. I don't like criticism. I don't like any of it. So I read this book and it helped me. It might not help you, but it helped me to understand. And the fact that I found out that it's just, like, I could be wrong. Look it up first. That it's in the female's genetics too. So if two parents have ADHD, the kids could highly get it or might not get it. But it's not a disease. It's a learning disability. And you're born with it. I was vacuumed out when I was a child. When my mom had me, I was vacuumed out. And they used the vacuum on me. They don't use the vacuum, I don't think, anymore on children. But they used the vacuum on me. And that's what they did. Yes, I had a temper when I was a kid. I took temper tantrums. I had a learning disability. There's no excuse, but I did. I had a temper. I had temper tantrums just like every other kid. I'm now just getting to the point to where it's like life is life, and that's all to it. But I was always told that I couldn't do anything in life, and that's why I'm sitting here and at home at my mom's. I live at my mom's. There's circumstances behind that, which I will talk about in another video if you want to hear about it on my main channel. I have talked about why I live with my parents on my main channel. Go check it out. But I grew up with it. I've learned how to cope with it. Some of us have. People who haven't learned how to cope with it, just breathe in and breathe out, guys. You'll get it. And I know you will. But ADHD, it's a learning disability, and you thrive off with distractions. Like right now, I'm looking around my room because I'm distracted. And I get very easily distracted. You'll notice it on some of my videos that I get very distracted or I read. That's the other thing. I just started back up reading this year because of my sister. And I barely read when I was a kid. Was never interested in it. Because I had a hard time concentrating on reading a book. So now I do a lot of audio. But, you know, it's difficult. It's not difficult. There's no excuse for it. But, you know, just this video has been planned now for since the last video I did. Probably about 2 weeks or a week. This video has been planned to do this video to blatantly tell you guys what I go through living everyday life with ADHD. But like I said, I have lost jobs because I have been slow on the job. I have lost jobs due to probably my learning disability because I have a hard time learning fast. It takes me time to catch on to something. I did cleaning at factories, and the company I was working for, I'm not going to out them, fired me because I wasn't doing the job right. But I wasn't trained properly. On either jobs for this woman that I went to work for, I was not trained properly. And I hate that. I freaking hate that. You train somebody properly. You don't make them fly by the pants. And guessing what they have to do. And that's why I'm not working today, is because training, like, I'm not going to nitpick at people, how they train, but the last job I had, the girl trained me pretty good. I just couldn't handle it because of my anxiety. I had a panic attack and I had to go home and I just couldn't handle it. And I think that's from not working through the pandemic. But, you know, you learn. You learn every day new things. And I do too. So yeah, like, it might be hard, but you can get through it. I believe in you guys. And I understand that, you know, I'm trying to do YouTube and it's like, it's not going anywhere for me. And it's like going, should I keep doing it or should I? Is it worth doing it? But I do it for fun for right now. Like, my main channel has 42 subscribers and I do my vlog and my podcast on there. My fitness channel only has 17 subscribers. This channel only has 5. It's not moving. And it's not barely getting any views because I'm doing book reviews, which is fine. I like doing it. It's fun. It's relaxing. And I can get things off my chest and talk to you guys about it. But this ADHD, like attention hyperactive disability, give us a break. Just give us a fucking break. Give it a break. We're allowed to work. We're allowed to live normal lives. We're just like you guys. We just learn differently. So take extra time and train that fucking person who has ADHD. Train them properly to do their jobs so they don't lose their jobs because of you. I'm not calling out anybody's business. I'm not calling out anybody. But I showed up to work every day. Yeah, I have a habit of being late for things, and I can tell you that. That's one thing I hate. I'm always late on things. So now I do a to-do list and what time I'm supposed to be at appointments. But sometimes I don't follow it. Like today I slept a day away. So what I'm trying to say is that give us a chance, and, you know, you never know. You might be impressed. You might not be. But we're allowed to work. We're allowed to have jobs. You know, some of the big time people that are out there have ADHD, and they just probably don't realize it because their parents probably didn't get them diagnosed with it. But I saw 4 freaking doctors. Remember that, guys. 4 doctors I saw when I was a child to be diagnosed with ADHD. 4 doctors. So you can't come on here and tell me that I self-diagnosed myself when I've lived with it since I was 4 years old. Okay? So you can't come on here and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about when I live with the learning disability every day of my life, and it affects my life and the well-being of my life and the way I live. The most important thing in my life is my children, and I take care of them. And they're my main priority. I got my license, and I got told I was never going to do that. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything. Just do it. Prove to them. Say, hey, look what I got. I'm going for my grade 12 diploma. Because everyone has always told me, well, you're never going to get your grade 12. You're never going to commit to anything. You're never going to do anything in life. I was always put down, and I always believed that. I finally got my license when I was 27 years old. I got my G1. And after I got my G2, I was in a car accident. I flipped my car with my 2 kids in it. I'm so sorry. My camera died. No, my camera didn't die. My memory card says it's filled, which I'm going to have to deal with that because I'm going to have to get some new memory cards for my camera. But like I was saying, what was I saying? Man, that's the problem I have. I forget what I'm saying. Like I was saying, I was always told that I couldn't do anything in life. I was always told that, and I believed that. And now I'm like going, no, I can do it. I see everybody else doing it, so why can't I do it? I'm trying to become a YouTuber, like I said. I'm trying to become an influencer. I hope I influence a lot of parents to fight for the... Like, I know you guys are fighting for your kids' education like I am. I'm fighting. I'm completely fighting. I'm all there with you guys. But I hope people could take from this video me talking about my experience with ADHD and how I grew up and how I was, you know, criticism... I don't know the other word for it, but it's on the top of my tongue and I can't figure it out. When I do figure it out, I will tell you. Discrimination. I was demonstration. If I can't say it right, you know what I mean. At work and at school and everything. Like, I just kept my mouth shut. I've kept my mouth shut since I was 17 years old of what I've gone through in life with ADHD. And I think it's time for us to open our mouths and tell people what we've gone through because I think people need to know. You know what I mean? I think they deserve to know because we shouldn't have to keep it in. But I can be rude. I can be mean. But at times I'm not. I'm just like looking at people going, okay. But I don't mean to give dirty looks. I don't mean to give dirty, or any of that stuff. It's just who I am. But at the same time, it's like if you don't know how to take me, then don't come up and talk to me. Don't acknowledge me. Don't even try to talk to me because it's going to be like going, you're going to think in your head, well, I'm just talking to a stupid person. And you're not. Just because I think differently, because I'm not concentrating on your conversation. I am listening. That's all to it. But what baffles me is that I am so fed up with the society that is out there that just I can't say it, discriminates against people with disabilities. Calls them lazy. It's just sickening to no end. And it needs to stop. We're not any different than you guys. We might think differently, but we're not different than you guys. We're normal. And if you can't accept that, then don't be our friend. Don't talk to us. Like, I've had so much stuff on my mind, and I've been going through it, and I'm like going, should I say this or that? And this is what I'm going to say before I end this video. Fuck off, go to hell, and leave us alone. If you can't be nice to people, don't talk to them. And that's pointing out blank. This is my review on this book. Read it, learn about it, before you put your opinion on what ADHD really is. If you don't have it, shut your goddamn mouth until you read this book. Don't make comments on it. Because seriously, if your child has it, yes, speak about it. Don't let anybody stop you. Talk about your experience with it. My experience with it is that I get hyped up easily. I get very overstressed. I get very exaggerated. Can't talk right. But I just overreact about stupid things, and that's just who I am. My daughter does exactly the same thing because recently I just had to call the school yesterday, and I called them today because her lock was broken because somebody broke into her locker, and she was very upset about it. My daughter is 12 years old, and she has anxiety. I've had her checked and everything like that, but she hasn't been fully diagnosed with ADHD. A pediatrician has said she has ADHD, like my son Liam, who has ADD. They haven't been fully diagnosed, so to me they're fine, but they're both on IEPs. I know there's something wrong with Emma, but I just don't know what it is, so I'm going to go and get her checked. Like, I got to go talk to the pediatrician about it, but like I said, I've been diagnosed with it. I've seen 4. I'm going to keep repeating this in this video. I've 4 doctors, guys. 4 flipping doctors. Now, I don't know how many doctors have you gone to see, but 4 doctors back in the 90s when I was a kid. And we have the paper. I don't think we have the paperwork anymore, but yeah. If you don't believe me, you don't have to. But 4 doctors. But anyhow, I am going to leave this video off here. Sorry about ranting, but it just frustrates me to no end when I see people making comments that they shouldn't be. Don't call me lazy. Just don't. I don't appreciate it. But anyhow, please hit that subscribe button, notification button if you want to see more reviews. And if you want to see me talk more about ADHD, I can. Having ADHD actually helps to know about it, living with it, trying to cope with it every day. Yeah, I get distracted. Like, I lose my car keys constantly, yes. You know, I can't handle this. When I'm trying to sleep at night because he's in my room, he rattles around with this. I can't handle it. It won't let me sleep. So, it's like, and I'm sorry if that distracts you. But, like I was saying, like, I get distracted. I just do that kind of stuff. So, anyhow, I'm going to end this video right here. I don't want this video to be an hour long. But, go ahead and get this book. And, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification button. And ADHD, everybody. Attention Hyperactive Disability. We need to get more awareness out about it. So other people can understand it more. And, help the teachers understand it more. Like, my kids' teachers are amazing. I go for a teacher paramedic, but they're amazing. They deal with the kids. They call me to keep me updated. So they're amazing. I have no issues with my kids' teachers. I'm talking about the teachers when I was a kid. I'm talking about those teachers, not my kids' teachers, because they're amazing. But I am just saying this right now. Go read that book, and you'll learn a lot. But anyhow, I'm going to post this video up tonight, and hopefully it gets views. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't care. I'm hoping to work on a podcast tomorrow about my weight loss journey. I haven't really done anything about my weight loss journey because, like I said, I do one thing and I'm on another task and then I go on another task. I just overdo it sometimes. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button, notification button. I did get a new car. See? That's what I'm talking about. I switch conversations all the time, which is fine. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button, notification button. And I really don't care if you don't like this. This is me. But I'm trying my best. Okay? Bye, guys.